So Becca and I are showing you Emory University. So we're gonna be touring around the school.
Rebecca. I'm a sophomore, I'm 21 years old, and I'm from the Bahamas, and I'm majoring in neuroscience and behavioral biology, and I'm on the pre-med track.
Only sophomores live in the sophomore dorms, and like only freshmen in the freshmen.
Okay.
So that's where I lived last year.
So yeah, the dorms are separated, like all of them are two genders, there's no like single gender dorm, and most of them are separated by the floor.
Yeah.
So this half is the boys' hallway. And then when we turn the corner, it's just going to be the girls' hallway.
Yeah.
And everyone shares a communal bathroom. In the freshman dorms, though, they have a different way of residence life. So you can either have a single room or a double room. The single rooms are normally reserved for people with accessibility issues. And then the double rooms, you can either have one that shares a communal bathroom like this, or you can have what we call like an ensuite room, which is like two double rooms that share one bathroom. I feel like there's never a time where you don't have a shower to use or you don't have a bathroom.
Yeah.
Because there's also like the individual one.
I see.
And this is my room.
So you guys have your own sink?
Yeah. All of the rooms have their own sink and their own thermostat.
Yeah.
So you only have to argue with your roommate about what temperature you want. And the view, you can see the skyline. Well, whatever skyline Atlanta has.
Yeah.
2 or 3 study lounges, which are like this. They have a whiteboard and chairs and tables. Some of them are closed to the door, some of them are open. And it's a really nice way to like meet people or to study with groups or to study by yourself and you need somewhere private but you don't want to leave your dorm.
Yeah, on the sunny days, there's always people here. Hey, Sarah. Thank you.
Do you organize like events with this?
Yeah, so the lawn chairs that are out are actually part of there's like an initiative by the administration. They call it Conversations with Strangers, I think. Something along those lines. It's just to encourage people to use the quad, talk to each other, meet people. But yeah, they use the lawn chairs and they have a speaker come, have a short speech, and they have food about, and you just like meet random strangers, whether they're students, alumni, other people who just come on campus.
So around campus, we're always going to find like group study sessions because Emory really likes to encourage the collaborative learning and students working together to get somewhere. So yeah, this is like, we do have the individual cubicles for the study spaces on every floor here. We have group study sessions and there's movable whiteboards just to encourage people to work together. Actually, for my chemistry exam, my chem lab exam, we had a Google Doc that the professor made for everyone to work together in it. So the professors really want you to work with each other. And actually all of the windows, like you can see into all of the labs, so you can watch somebody doing their chemistry experiment. And the typical like college classroom that you think of are the tiered lecture theater, all the seats facing one direction with a podium at the front. But this is like, it's like a one of its kind on this campus, and it was done as kind of like an experiment, and it's been so successful that with every new building that we're going to build, we're going to have more classrooms like this. So actually all of these desks are whiteboards. There's whiteboards in all 4 walls of the building, of the room.
So you can just write and erase it and while you're working on things.
Yeah, so although this classroom can hold like 100 students, it honestly feels like there's just like the 8 or 10 students who you sit with at your desk. And the professor, when they lecture, since there's no front of the classroom technically, they walk in between the classes, like in between the tables, and they can look over your shoulder and help you with problems that you're doing throughout class. With the expo markers, your whole table works together. So yet again, it just encourages this collaboration that I was talking about.
Wow, school, like it's really, really pretty.
I agree.
Yeah, it's big, there's so many things to do. Would you tell me about like how did you end up choosing this school other than all the other schools out there?
Yeah.
So honestly, my choosing schools to apply to, I didn't really do a lot of research, like as much research as I should have. So it was kind of intimidating. There are hundreds of schools to choose from. I was like, I don't know what to do. I was kind of panicking, so I threw some on there.
Yeah.
Why Emory ended up on that list was actually I first heard about Emory through the Ebola crisis. So the first Ebola patient who was treated in the States was treated at the hospital right over there.
Oh, right. Okay.
So it's like, I was like, wow, I love that. I know that I want to be a doctor, and I love the idea that if I came to the school, I would be involved with more than just like being taught and lectured to. I could be involved in real life things.
Yeah.
And I haven't been disappointed with that so far. So that's why I ended up applying. And then my typical odds of like, why have I stayed? Because there's so many options to like, I could have transferred in my first year.
Right.
I could transfer right now, but I really don't want to. And I think what it comes down to is the people, both the friends who I've made here, and just people who you interact with every day. They're all very friendly. I've made friends here who I'm closer to these friends who I've known for 2 years than I am to friends who I had back home for 17 years of my life.
Wow.
And I know I can support on these people who I've met here for like my entire life. The professors really care about your learning, and not just learning like the facts. They care about you growing as a person, and care about like you learning a new way to think and a new way to look at the world, and I really appreciate that.
Wow. So how are your class sizes right now? So we showed the chemistry building and the outer buildings. Like, how are your typical class like? Is it like 20, like 50, 100?
Yeah. So typically my classes range between like 50 and 100, but I think that's because I'm still taking the intro science courses.
Right.
And they're typically larger, but as you go up, as you start taking the upper level courses, the classes become smaller as people become more niche. And the humanities are typically, they have smaller classes. So when I took an art history class, it was about like maybe 20 people. In my freshman seminar class, that had like about 10 people. So it really depends. I'm going to be taking Chinese next year, and that,
exciting.
yeah, I'm so excited. That only holds like 10 students. So it really depends on what class and what you're looking for.
You're in your second year.
Yes.
So how do you like it so far? Like, was it same as you expected the American school would be?
Yes and no. I don't know. All I knew about America and stuff was what you see in the movies, you know,
Right.
with the cliques and the friend groups or the popularity contests. It's really not like that. That's just in the movies, at least.
Yeah.
And then the whole, you know, what you see on the college brochures, if all the time you stay on the quad in the grass studying and things. And yeah, that definitely happens. Like, that's what we're doing right now. But honestly, studying in the grass is not really conducive. You have like grass sticking you in the butt. You have like the sun glaring on your computer screen. So when I study, I just stay in my room. But other than that, yeah, it's a lot of people who you meet. You really grow as a person, and that whole cliche of like finding yourself is kind of true. You just learn who you are, especially being away from home, away from people who you know, stepping outside your comfort zone. You really learn about a lot about yourself and about life in general. So this is our new building. We call it the CLC, and it's like the new campus life center. And so there's going to be the dining hall in there, study spaces, coffee shops, a lot of offices and community centers. So it's going to be specific areas and places for specific community groups. So there's going to be the Black Student Association, Latinx students are going to have a space, Asian Americans, and so it's going to be a really, like, life is going to be centered around this building.
So if you could tell me about like how was your application process? Like, how many schools did you apply, and like how was that journey of applying to university?
Oh, the journey was stressful, just because a big deal is made out of college applications. I applied to, I can't remember if it was 7 or 9, one of the two, or somewhere in between. And yeah, the applications were stressful just because, you know, you have to put a lot of focus on your personal essay, and then on top of that, all of the colleges that you you're applying to have supplemental questions, and then the scholarships that you're applying to have essays and questions and forms and applications to fill out, all the financial aid things. It's just like a lot to do all at the same time.
Yeah.
But I think the key to having a good application and making the application process easier is to be honest. Like, be yourself. Don't lie on the application, because like you can really tell. And like you just gotta look into yourself and find something interesting, something different that will make yourself make the application stand out. Like my personal essay, I think a lot of focus gets put on the personal essay, and people don't really realize that a lot, because that's the only way that the people who are reading your application can see about you. Your grades and your extracurriculars don't really show much about who you are, and so your personal essay is the only thing. So I actually wrote mine about kayaking and snorkeling on the reef back home, and like just being with my siblings and having lunch with my family. So just something simple like that, but like I made sure that it showed the values that I have.
Right.
So
that's a great tip for people to just show your interests, show who you are. I mean, that's the only way that they can really understand you and know you as a person. When you were preparing for your application, doing all the process, did anyone help you, or did you had like guidance counselor, or did you ask your parents, your friends? Like, how did you like do all that process?
I was lucky enough to have good college counselors in the school I was at, and so they helped me to make sure I was on the right track, to make sure I had the things in on time. My peers, like all of my other classmates, they really helped me to understand the process and not compare myself to them, but like make sure I'm at the same pace as they are, so making sure like, I'm not leaving things to the last minute, and we can like edit each other's essays. My parents, they went to university in the UK, so the system was different, so they couldn't help me that much with the actual like system questions, but they helped me edit my essays.
I see. Why not UK? Why didn't you apply for schools in UK?
I was actually about to, So to go to med school in the UK, you just, in the States, you go to undergrad for 4 years and then medical school after that. But in the UK, you just go straight into medical school.
Oh, okay. So you don't have the choice to be having like some time.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wow.
You can do like an undergrad degree and then go to medical school if you want. But I was just gonna go straight into it.
Right.
And so to go to medical school in the UK, you have to take this thing called the UK CAT. It's like the MCAT kind of.
Okay.
And so I was actually signed up for it. I was about to take it the next morning. I was doing the practice tests, and I was just like, I suddenly thought to myself, why am I doing this? I don't want to go to the UK. I don't want to go straight into medical school. I want that like holistic education that America offers. I also I'm not a fan of the UK culture in general. I also don't like the weather. I like the sun. I'm from the Bahamas, so like I need that like warmth, that vitamin D.
Right.
And I was like, the only reason I'm doing this is because my parents were encouraging me to, and my siblings. So I actually just canceled the test. I got my money back, and I called up my dad, and I was like, hey, I canceled my test. I'm not going to the UK.
Did they wanted you to come to UK, or they were fine that you were on your own?
They kind of wanted to, but they also didn't mind. Like my parents, they really encouraged me. Like they know it's my life and that I need to make my own decisions.
Yeah.
So I'm lucky to have parents who are that supportive. So my dad was kind of like shocked. He was like, "What? Like you're not going to? But like, what about this? What about this?" And I'm like, "No, I know I'm not going to be happy there. So I'm not going to even bother like waste the money on the applications."
Yeah.
At the time.
Well, it's good that you heard your inner feelings and inner thoughts and kind of,
follow your gut.
That's the word that I was looking for.
A helicopter, so right behind me there's Emory University Hospital, and so we have a helicopter that comes delivering patients or organs or whatever. As a pre-med student, it's really a source of inspiration. When I want to tear my hair out because of chemistry, I see the doctors come outside for the lunch break, or I hear the helicopter, and I'm like, yes, that's what I want to do. That's why I'm here. I got this. So yeah, we're in Asbury Circle right now. It's like the physical center of campus, and a lot of events happen in the circle on the bridge. So every Tuesday we have a farmers market where local vendors come and they sell their food whether it's apples or donuts or coffee. And we have a lot of like cultural food being sold as well. So we have a Moroccan place, a Caribbean place. It's really interesting and a fun place to meet people. And on Wednesdays we have this thing called Wonderful Wednesday, where a lot of clubs they bring out a table and they sell things, or they just have a fundraising event or an awareness event. And some days they go all out. One time I was coming back from class and there was a big bouncy castle right here where we're standing, and I was like, "God, this is crazy." Hey, Aditya. And yeah, there's like petting zoos here sometimes. So just really fun things that the students can, mix up your day so you don't have to go to classes all the time. So we have a professor called Dr. Leota, and so he developed this drug called Emtreva, the M standing for Emory. And this drug is used to treat all the HIV patients in the world. So as you can imagine, a lot of money came from that. And Dr. Leota used some of this money to build this building at Wood Chemistry Center for us. And we'll head in right now. But one cool thing that I always find this impressive is that it's actually Gold LEED certified, meaning that it's like the highest level of sustainability that a building can be. And so we have like $1 million NMR machine in here, and the chemistry equipment uses a lot of energy also, I assume. But we still manage to be this sustainable. And I don't know if you've noticed, but there's no trash cans. We only have recycling and compost. So Emory we put a lot of emphasis on reducing our waste, reducing our energy consumption. So this is Carlos Hall. It's the oldest building on campus, built in 1915. And right now it houses the art history department. Took an art history class in here, and I can definitely recommend, if you have the chance, take an art history class. It's amazing, and it changes your perspective. When you go to museums, you actually know what you're doing now. You can actually have a guidance, you recognize this artist's name.
So tell me about your experience in living in campus so far. Like, would you stay in campus next year? Would you go out and rent an apartment somewhere else?
So it's actually amazing living on campus because there's no commute that you have to worry about. There's no issue of catching the bus on time or paying your car insurance. You just get out of bed and you walk the 7 minutes it takes to get to class. You are in the community, you get to meet people, you have the support. There's the vibe of student life, if that makes sense. I don't know, it's just being on a closed campus especially, you're reminded that you are students, you're here to study, and you have that support system. So when you're studying for an exam, you can study with others. And living off campus, that becomes much more difficult.
Right.
And I think it's a very important experience for if you can, to have the experience of living in a dorm and having a roommate, learning to share. It's you learn a lot of life skills just doing that.
Right.
So I wouldn't have chosen it any other way. Next year I have to move off campus because I'll be a junior. But I'm actually going to be living on this residential campus that Emory owns called Claremont.
Yeah.
So I'll still be living with students, but it's going to be an apartment style house instead of a dorm room. And so I'm really excited for that, just for the change. But I still have the convenience. There's shuttles that Emory has that go every 5 minutes back and from Claremont to the main campus.
That's
nice.
I
don't have to worry about transportation that much.
Wow, that's really, really nice. Yeah. And you were saying something about you have your 4 students or 5 students in one area where you have your own bedroom, you have a kitchen, so you have the convenience of cooking, you don't have to worry about whenever the dining hall closes.
Yeah, exactly. So next I'll be living with my best friends. So it's just the 4 of us, each of us have our own room, so we have that privacy.
Yeah.
We also have in the kitchen we can cook our own food.
Right.
For the last 2 years I've been on a meal plan.
Okay.
So I had I can swipe into the all-you-can-eat buffet meal dining hall.
Yeah.
I also have what we call Dooley dollars. It's just money that we put on our ID card.
Okay.
And we can go to another dining hall and buy meals or buy snacks and drinks.
Right.
Money.
That's really convenient.
Yeah, you don't have to declare your major until the end of your sophomore year.
Yeah.
So you have those whole first 2 years to explore,
Which is
realize
really
what you're
great.
interested in, what you want to do. Because it's completely fine to think that you're going to do something and suddenly switch and become complete opposite, something you never thought that you would be.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of what college is for, and that's why I like the American system so much, is because they encourage that. They make you take
classes and things that aren't yours.
Yeah.
So like a liberal art, like Emory's a liberal arts college, meaning that no matter what you're majoring in, like I'm majoring in STEM, I still have to take humanities classes in order to graduate.
Right.
And so I like that opportunity.
Yeah, no, it's nice to have, you know, you can still like switch between, like you said, you study biology and then you're like, oh, I didn't like it as much as I would like that, and kind of switch maybe later down the road if you're like, oh, okay, I might want to get into deeper more into psychology.
Yeah.
Or
maybe I just might change my mind completely and be like, oh, I want to be a film major.
yeah, like something could totally happen, and that's great that your school is like really open and really flexible about things.
I agree.
So what are you thinking about in the future? So you're saying you want to be a doctor, and do you want to go straight to school, or do you want to take some time off? Like, what's your take on it?
So I think I'm going to be taking a gap year.
Yeah.
And I'll just spend that time in Canada. And I'll probably like find a fellowship or an internship or a job relating to like what I want to do. And take that time to fully, develop my application, study for the MCAT, and then I'll be applying to Canadian med schools.
Yeah.
Just because I know that's where I'm going to be living in the future.
Canada's awesome.
It really is. Toronto is like the best city, and oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Like the whole country.
I'm kind of trying to convince you to move to Vancouver because I loved it there.
I'm definitely going to visit.
Yeah.
Who knows? I might be studying and living there. You might see me in 20 years.
Yeah. No, that's really, really nice. Well, that's good. So you kind of have an idea that all that. Do you how do you find that? Like, do you go online and search for it? Like, do you talk to your your teachers, your friends that are in like similar medical field, that you get an inspiration and get an idea that, hey, like how do you study there? Like, how do you get those kind of information?
Yeah, it's actually, I think, all of them mixed together. So of course it has to come from you, like where do you see yourself?
Right.
Because like I'm looking at Canada because I know my fiance is up there, and I'm going to be a Canadian permanent resident. That's where my life is going to be focused. So I was like, there's no point being in the States because I'm not willing to spend another 4-year long distance relationship. I want to be with him up there. And then we have the center called PHMO, which is Pre-Health Mentoring Office here. And it's actually, so all students on the pre-med or pre-health track get an advisor, and that advisor, you ask them, like, where am I in this application process? Do I need to do more of this? Is this grade for the class okay, or should I retake it? Help me with my interviews, help me choosing med schools and stuff. And they're there for like all of that. And they just like mentor you and help you through every step of the process to get to med school. And we also have the Career Center, which is similar kind of thing, but for all fields or careers. They help you with your resume, they help you with interview practice. You can actually rent clothes from them. If you don't have like business attire, you can like rent out a suit.
That's pretty new. I never heard of that
before. I know, it's really great. And then I found that the PHMO here didn't have a lot of information about Canadian med schools. It was mainly focused on American. Right. So I just sent, there's someone who I know in the admissions office, and he's Canadian, and he had like been doing some work up there. So I was like, hey, like, can you help me at all with these, like the Canadian med school process? And he was like, yeah, totally. And he sent me these amazing links online. I forgot what they were, like what are the exact ones. I can't say it off the top of my head, but they helped me so much. It clarified so many things for me. It gave me like much needed detail. And then also just talking to my friends, everyone else is in my classes, just seeing what everyone else thinks, hearing their take on everything and what their future is going to be like. Are they going to take a gap year or not? When are they taking the MCAT? When's the best place to take the MCAT? What's like a cheap option to get to, like, the guidebooks and like the study things for the MCAT?
Get the test books and examples and all that stuff.
Like, should I take it in the fall or the spring or like this? So,
oh wow.
Just like don't be afraid to like talk to others, and that like really helps to clarify everything.
Absolutely. Like, I find that a lot of people are scared to like ask for help because they think, oh, okay, I don't want to bother them, or I don't want to look stupid, or I don't want to.
A lot of time, I I would be scared to ask about these college stuff because I was like, everyone else seems to know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I would just look like an idiot. But literally everyone is always lost. Everyone's lost and everyone has that same mindset. Everyone thinks that you know what you're doing. And you think that they know what they're doing, but actually neither of you know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And so just like say it out loud and you'll be surprised that like a lot of people will be of the same mindset as you.
Yeah. That's a great.
Our official mascot is Swoop, who's an eagle, but our heart really lies with the skeleton Dooley. So the myth behind Dooley is that many years ago we had a newspaper called The Phoenix, and so somebody would write a column in it from the perspective of a skeleton hanging in a biology classroom. And the whole campus fell in love with Dooley. And there are many versions to this story, but this is the one that I've been taught. So one day Dooley went missing and the whole campus was outraged, and they were like, where's our beloved Dooley? And apparently he was found on Georgia Tech campus. Well, she was found on Georgia Tech campus with 6 broken ribs. And so since then she's become kind of like our motto, our like true mascot. And so she shows up to events where it's actually a person in a skeleton costume, but she always has at least 6 bodyguards with her, and they're seniors. It's a huge honor to be chosen as a mascot, as a bodyguard, and we actually have a whole week dedicated to Dooley.
So how's your course load so far? Like every semester?
Yeah.
Do you get like 5 classes? Do you have like 6, 7, or like do you have it like from morning to night? Like how's your semester load?
It's typically about 5 classes. So we have a credit system, so like 22 credits is the max you can take, and each class is about like 3 credits. Some are more, some are less.
Right.
And so you just like choose your own schedule. You can adapt it to how you want. So if you want to take all of your classes in the morning, you can choose the classes that are only in the morning. And yeah, so in my freshman year, I was like, yeah, I can totally do 8 a.m. classes. Let's do this. And so I signed up for a bunch of 8 a.m. classes. I had like a heavy course load. And I found that the course load in my freshman year, the classes were easier. So it wasn't bad. And so I took like, I wasn't stressed out, but I took more than I am taking now. But if I was taking that number of classes now, like this semester, I think I would have been overloaded because now I find them more difficult. So freshman year I was kind of coasting, you know, cruising. I was like enjoying life, enjoying all these classes, and then sophomore just hit me like a truck. Like, so yeah, sorry, to get back to the question. I think now I'm taking 4 classes plus a lab, so chemistry lab, which counts as 2 credits. So yeah, and that seems like that's like typical. Like 12 credits is the minimum. I'm taking like 16 right now. So I think it's useless to take the max credits unless you're wanting to graduate early. You shouldn't overload yourself because you don't know what's going to be on your plate. And also you need to leave time for extracurriculars, clubs, meeting people, getting enough sleep, going to the gym, like all of that. Like you need to learn to balance your life, and so don't overload yourself if you don't have to.
For sure.
So yeah, it took me a while to learn that.
Speaking of extracurricular, like what do you do?
Yeah, so personally, a lot of my free time, of course, is spent with my friends because I really value like friendships and stuff. But extracurriculars, I'm part of the Caribbean Students Association.
Oh, nice.
So we just like get together, we have some like Caribbean things, cook some food, have an event every year to like, you know, to celebrate our culture and like help other people learn about the culture.
Nice.
I'm president of this club called Red Light, and we focus on raising awareness for human trafficking on campus and in Atlanta. So I've learned a lot from that. It's really interesting, and it's like a really important thing to be doing. ACDA, Association for Chronic Disease Awareness. We just like, you know, raise awareness about chronic diseases on campus mainly. So we just do like small events. Every semester we do a concert at the Children's Hospital here. We bring some, you know, like a cappella groups, we do some arts and crafts with the kids. So it's really fun. And also a radio show. So we actually have a radio, so you can sign up to have your own shows, like 1 hour every week. And so I do mine on the Bahamas.
Oh,
so
wow.
every week I focus on like a different theme. I play some Bahamian and Caribbean music. I talk about whether it's like social issues in the Bahamas, geography, the government structure, all of that. So it's been really fun and interesting.
That's fun. How long have you been doing that?
A year now. Yeah.
Year
so
now?
Only sophomore year.
Okay. So
Yeah.
do you have like your own like studio that you go in?
Yes, there's like a studio, you just like rent out the key, you head up there and you're like having your DJ board and like
That
doing
is
all of that.
fun. Maybe you're gonna become into a radio host.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. Maybe.
Wow, that's like
Yeah.
that is so many things that you do outside school. Like,
Yeah,
how do you
it's like-
manage like your school life and like, your personal life like outside of school?
It's just balance. Like all of the clubs that I'm in, they're kind of like small, so it's not like a huge time commitment for them. And so you're just like seeing where you are, and, like just learning what you have to balance, what you have to prioritize. So drop something if you need to, add some
Right.
more stuff if you need to. Just like focus on yourself. And yeah, like a lot of there's just so many clubs here that it's like an overwhelming opportunity. So you just gotta like pick and choose and know that you can't try everything, but try some of the things. There's like a really big culture of being involved in extracurriculars here.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to be, but honestly, if I wasn't, I would feel kind of out of it. Because all of my friends always going to the meetings and talking about the clubs, meeting new people, and I would just be there like, what? So it's like you're encouraged to be part of it. And then
Yeah.
sports-wise, we actually have like 3 levels of sports here. So there's varsity, club, and intramural. So varsity is like, typical varsity, travel around the country, huge, like really competitive. Club is like in between. You still have a uniform and you try out, but you only compete with schools that are like in the nearby states.
Okay.
And it's not as competitive as varsity. And then intramural is like down at the bottom, I was part of like an intramural soccer team in my freshman year, and so it was really fun. I played soccer in high school. I kind of missed it, so I was like, let's just do it. So I like joined the med school team. In the evenings, we would just like go out and pick a ball, have like a fun competition. Actually, I heard that like all of the, I think, sociology professors or psychology, I can't remember, have like an intramural volleyball team or something. And so this is really fun. You can be playing against your professor.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
How did you learn about those clubs outside?
So
like, do they have like a cool like booth set up so that you know what kind of like clubs they are? You just like go on the website. Like, how did you find out?
yeah. So we have OrgSync, which is like a website where like all the clubs are, so you can use that if you want. But actually, I found out about the clubs at the beginning of the year. They have a day dedicated. All the clubs come out. They all have a table out, the sign-up sheets, email login stuff. And so you just walk around. If you see a club, you go up to them, you ask them like what they do, and if you're interested, you can sign up for the email list. And then you just like pick and choose. Like you don't have to go to this club. Once you get interested, you just start going to the meetings and see how, like, gauge whether you want to be a part of it or not.
Okay. So yeah, that makes sense.
So personally, I find that Emory campus is extremely safe. It's the safest place I've ever lived. So I can walk from the library to my dorm at 2 a.m. and I don't feel the need to look over my shoulder. But if you do feel unsafe, we have things in place. So this is the blue light system. From every blue light, you can see another blue light. And if you're feeling uncomfortable, you can click this button right here, and Emory Police Department will be with you within a few minutes. So it's nice to know that you have that opportunity. We also have something called Safe Ride, which is this bus that drives around at all hours of dark, and you can call it to your location with an app, and it picks you up and it can bring you wherever you want in the vicinity of campus, and it's free for all students. So it's just nice to know that if you do feel unsafe, that you have these things available. Here's Callaway. A lot of the English classes take place in there, and one of the most important things there, in my opinion, is the writing sensor. So you can, if you're writing an application or doing an essay and you need some help to edit it, you can go there, and there are some students who are there specifically for you. You make an appointment online and they help you edit your essay, rewrite it. They teach you how to write better for the future, and that's free for all students. You just sign up online and boom. We also have something called ePass, which is like a tutoring system for all subjects. So a student who has taken that class before will be tutoring you. It's free for all students. Again, you just sign up online, and yeah.
Do you have a tutor, or do you tutor?
I don't tutor, and I personally haven't used it, but my roommate loves it, and nice that if you need help, if you need some extra help, it's there. For chemistry specifically, we have this thing called Chem Mentors, which is every week, multiple times a week, like multiple times a day, every day of the week, we have some older students who mentor in that specific class as they have these sessions. It's like another class that you can go to, but it's optional. And this really helps you because chem blows my mind, and so it's a lifesaver.
Yeah. Awesome. So where is this?
This is the theology building.
Wow.
Yeah, there's actually a nice study space in there. It's like a little living room with some couches and some tables.
We can get really comfortable and cozy.
Yeah, and so Emory is like historically a Methodist school, but we aren't like a Christian school. We accept all students of all religions. It doesn't make a difference in your application what religion you are, and all major religions are represented here. And so we have a worship center in this building, so you can have a Christian service in there, or a Muslim service. Jews use it. Like whatever you practice, you will be able to practice on campus.
It's really nice. Do you know how many students study?
It's approximately 7,000 undergrad students and 7,000 graduates. Yeah, and this here is Whitehall, and it's honestly one of the ugliest buildings on campus. Sorry. But the crazy thing is, almost all the movies that are filmed here use this building. So I don't know if you've seen Ant-Man, but that scene where they're like in the lecture theater and then the police come and run away, it was actually filmed right here.
You're from Bahamas, and where else have you lived? Like, is this like the first time you lived in the United States, or like how's your experience in Atlanta or the state of Georgia so far?
Yeah. So I was born and grew up in the Bahamas, but then for 2 years, so I graduated high school in the Bahamas, but then I did an extra 2 years in school at UWC in New Mexico. So that was like in the middle of nowhere, just 200 students from all around the world dumped in like a castle. And so that was like my first time living in the States for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I didn't really get to know American culture because it was mainly just the culture of the school, which is very international.
Right.
The most America I got to know there was Walmart. So, moving to Atlanta was the first time I was actually like submerged in like American culture, if that makes sense. I didn't really have a lot of culture shock.
Yeah.
Because like America's all over the media. Like you typically, at least I knew a lot about America, so I wasn't surprised at much. What I guess the only thing that I wasn't really expecting was the importance of race. Like the topic of race comes up in so many conversations. I see it all around me, like just topics of race and racism, just like you can't avoid it. And I didn't expect that it would be that intense. Because you hear it in the news and stuff, but then you're like, oh, news just over exaggerates everything. But they really, like, in this sense, they really don't. It's so prominent. So that was like a culture shock for me.
Did you also had a culture shock when you went back to Bahamas for the first time after you left?
I realized how much I missed it and how connected, because growing up I never really truly felt connected to my culture because I was always like slightly different. I was never really fully accepted as a Bahamian, but then I definitely wasn't English. I didn't really know where I fell, but since leaving the Bahamas I've become more and more connected to my culture, whether it's like the people, the dance, the music, the food, the ocean, just like things that I didn't really realize. You have to lose something to truly appreciate it, kind of thing. So yeah, leaving the Bahamas ironically made me more Bahamian. Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool. Yeah, I was when I talked to like a lot of my friends, I mean, like, for me too, like when I first left my country and then went to UWC, which stands for United World College, and going back home, I mean, first I had a culture shock of moving to a new country, and then later when I moved back just for a visit, for a winter break or summer break, I had a big culture shock of like, oh wow, like we can do this, and our culture's so different, and you know, people are so excited to know about your culture and all that. I was like, oh wow, like I didn't know, because you know, you being from somewhere else, you don't really get to think that, oh, this is cool, because for outsiders, they're like, oh wow, like that is so interesting. And but it's awesome that you get to feel more Bahamian.
Yeah.
It's like, it's really interesting. I keep trying to say Bahamian, but, you know?
Yeah, it's like you want to say Bohemian, like Bohemian Rhapsody, but it's like Bahamian.
Bahamian.
It's really fun, like hearing people's reactions when they hear him from the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Some, like, very rarely do I get the whole like, oh, okay, like, and keep going. A lot, there's always some kind of reactions, like, wow, what?
Yeah.
Some of the reactions are also very ignorant.
Really?
Yeah, they're like, oh, like they think that the Bahamas is just another part of America, or they don't even know that the Bahamas is a country, or they do the whole stereotypes of like, oh, so do you just like party there? Do you just like smoke weed and drink on the beach? And I'm like, no, it's actually a conservative country. Yeah, a lot of the time the questions that I get are like coming from like a good place, they want to learn more, but sometimes it's just kind of like an ignorant and disrespectful place that they're asking the questions from. Sometimes people like look down on my country, and I'm like, this is not okay.
Let me give you more information.
Yeah.
See, that's the great thing about like internet, or just having someone making friends from that country, is that you can actually like, hey, no, like, you know.
I love, like, because I know, like, it's a tiny country. I don't expect people to know about it. And so I really do appreciate questions when they're asked respectfully. It's when people start, like, looking down on it. It's like, oh, okay, you actually have buildings there, or you actually have real jobs, what? Or, I know why you came to the States. Like, implying, like, sometimes people imply that, oh, Bahamas is such a third world country that no one would ever want to live there or something.
Yeah. So you definitely get mixed reactions all the time. That's
interesting.
That is pretty interesting. Yeah, when I first got like left my country, people were asking, because I'm from Mongolia. So when people ask me like, oh, so do you ride a horse when you go to school? Yeah. Like, do you do you live in New York? Which people, like most of the people do, but you know, I live in a city, I have a car, like I drive and take a bus, you know. So for people it's like, yeah, I do ride a horse. They're like, oh, do you have like tens and thousands of horse, like you have all this? I'm like no, I wear heels and I
I've had someone legitimately ask me if I ride a dolphin to school and live in a hut on the beach. A legit question.
That is okay, that should be a top of the list of the reaction. Did you say yes? Do you?
I was like, I kind of took a second to respond. I was like, no.
Wow, that's new. So you love the school, you love the life in the States, you love it here. But let's talk about something like, is there any like problems or like big challenges that you're facing right now? Like in terms of being sophomore or being international in the States, or you know, being away from your parents. Those are big challenges that you face when you're being, you know, independent and doing everything on your own. So like, what would you say are like the biggest challenges right now?
I don't know. I can't pinpoint like huge challenges or like life-changing kind of thing, but just like small things. I'm a huge procrastinator, and so you know, back home you have your parents checking on you, just like asking at the end of the night, like, oh, have you done your homework, kind of thing. And now like I don't have that, so sometimes I leave my homework all the way to the end, and it's like, oh no, I have so many like essays and exams to do. And so learning how to like do, you know, wake up on time by yourself, be a complete adult, or not even a complete, be a semi-adult, and be responsible for yourself. Being in regards to being an international student, it's not a huge problem, but sometimes it's like a small inconvenience. It's like, you know, you can't get a job at this place because you need a work visa, or oh, you can't get paid for this internship because I'm not American. Oh, I can't be considered for this scholarship because I'm not American.
Right.
A lot of time people forget things like this. Like I can't even get a good credit card.
Yeah.
Like all the credit cards that are available are for American citizens, and there's only one for an international, like for non-citizen. And that's like the one with like really, you know, no benefits, like a really big like fee and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I'll just stick with my debit card.
Yeah.
It's just inconveniences in
Right.
that sense. Being away from my family, I didn't find it as difficult as I thought I would, because Skype and like, you know, Facebook calls really help.
Right.
And I was kind of used to my family being spread out because I'm the youngest of 5 siblings.
Oh,
so I like
wow.
watched my siblings leave me like one by one.
Yeah.
So I was kind of used to not being with my family all at once. So it was kind of like a gradual change for me, which is I think why it was easier.
So, yeah, the inconvenience of living somewhere else that's not your home is a lot to do with like work, especially, you know, like getting to get different visas and, you know, setting up a bank account, or like just like, you know, simple things like as we were talking earlier about how you had to like take an Uber like to get from the airport to school.
Yeah.
Like for the first time, I'm like where do you get those information? Like who tell you, you know? It's like, okay, awesome. Like got accepted to college. I got, you know, university, and then okay, what's next? Like there's a lot of like information that like that's not out there for people to see, and it's kind of hard to like. There's so many people at the school, but like who do you ask to? So it's it is a lot of inconvenience, and it is a lot of hard to just to get like what do you really need in terms like unless you know someone at the school that you can like, hey, could you help me directly? But it's also tough.
Yeah.
Right.
We actually have an office here specifically for international students, because we have a big international population, especially with students coming from mainly Korea, China, and India. Those are like the 3 major international countries where we have students from.
Yeah.
So we have a whole office dedicated to this. They help with your visa, with your I-20 form, making sure everything's up to date. They send out regular emails. They have like weekly lunches and stuff you can go to. And like
great,
advisors, you have an international advisor. So if you have questions or issues, you go to them and they can help you change your visa. If you have problems with immigration, if you get stuck somewhere, like they're your go-to person to help. And also there is like a big international community here, so you have people in the same boat who are like homesick, people who are willing to learn about other cultures. So it's like that support system that's nice.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, just like looking at the like where we are right now, like hanging out, like I see a lot of like international students, like international kids around here. So it's really nice to know, like, okay, so you're not really an outsider. Everyone came from somewhere else. Even from the kids from the States, they're all from different cities.
I think every single state is represented here. In the like incoming year, one like class of 2023, I think every state except for, I want to say Montana is represented, and like about 100, more than 100 countries are represented as well.
Yeah.
So it's really
wow,
cool.
that's really nice. It is. Like I'm getting like kind of jealous.
Yeah.
So it's like really nice to having like really bigger dynamics and so many different like majors and so many different like things to choose from. And that's that great opportunity of like studying in bigger school.
Yeah, so this is Carlos Museum, and it's actually one of the largest collegiate museums in the Southeast, and it's a really interesting thing. So I went in here once, so we have a collaboration with the Tibetan monks, and so every year they have a specific exhibit just for them, and it's really interesting. You get to learn about different cultures, the different religions, and it's just nice to have it right here on campus.
It is hard to get a scholarship in American like, schools, or did you have like other like, support, or did you have to like how did you proceed getting this information on like whether you did get a scholarship or not?
Yeah, I knew that I had to have a scholarship, so like I just like applied for like a lot of the things out there, because there's so many things out there, and a lot of them aren't like wouldn't be related to me. Like I had to choose things that I was eligible for. So it was kind of difficult finding that, because you find this great scholarship and then you look at the small print and realize, oh, it's only for American citizens,
Yeah.
or it's only for like UK citizens or something like that. So I ended up getting a scholarship from UWC, the Davis Scholarship.
Awesome.
So that was from the school I went to before. And then a scholarship from Emory University itself.
Okay.
So that was really great. And then scholarship from my home country. So I think if you're international, you really need to look at scholarships that your home country gives to students.
Yeah.
So it's like I got a National Merit Scholarship.
Oh, wow.
So it's like all three of them combined contribute a lot to
Yeah.
it. So it's actually not that much left to pay, luckily.
That's great.
Because it's kind of unfortunate, because like I couldn't be considered for American financial aid that like all of my friends get. So you gotta like look for other things. You gotta like look for merit scholarships.
So you would suggest to people, like the students or parents, that look for in your hometown or home
Yeah,
city,
definitely look
your
for stuff.
country, for information on getting a scholarship.
Yeah, so yeah, start with your hometown, your home city, your country, and then also apply to all the scholarships that your university that you're looking at
Yeah.
offers, because you might get a full ride, or you might just get like $30,000, or maybe just $5,000, but anything helps. Also, there are a lot of like websites that give like like one-time scholarships, or scholarships that last the whole 4 years, or
Yeah.
there's just like so much out there that you just have to like.
Or let's spend a time and
Yeah.
look for.
Yeah, and don't get disheartened.
Yeah. I mean, we were saying earlier, what's the worst they could say is no. So you just move on to the next one and
Yeah.
just look for more opportunities and just keep asking for help, So while we're on this topic, like with the scholarship, do you have to maintain like certain grades?
Luckily for me, no. My scholarships don't. Yeah, they don't require that I maintain a certain grade.
Yeah.
But Emory does offer like full scholarships. Like one of them is like the Woodruff Scholarship, and those students I think have to maintain a 3.7 GPA. I think it's 3.7, and they have to be like involved in the school and the community. So some of them are like pretty rigorous to maintain it.
Yeah.
But I was lucky enough that I don't have to have that extra stressor on my life.
No, that's always good. But I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, for sure, that everyone is studying really hard to get.
Yeah, of course.
Preparing for your future and preparing for,
Yeah.
for you to be the next step, being in the medical field
Yeah.
and getting, studying more advanced levels, and it's pretty cool. So more studying.
Oh my gosh, I'll be studying for the rest of my life.
Everyone does. We're all learners.
Yeah.
So we learn
Exactly.
until we die. What are the tips that you would like to give for people? Like, let's say 5 tips for like newcoming students, or the people are there looking to get inspired or to study somewhere else. Like, what were like the tips that you would like to give for them?
Okay, one tip is, I mentioned it earlier, but be honest on your application. Be true to yourself, be interesting, like take some time. Like if you don't know what to write, just like write some bullet points, do whatever like comes into your mind, and spend some time to be a bit introspective and like realize like learn yourself a bit more before you write your application. Number 2 is like when you are looking for what colleges to apply for, don't just apply to the prestigious ones, because honestly like Ivy League schools, or the ones that like top, like the number 1 on the list, it's just a name, and it doesn't like necessarily reflect the quality of the education or the quality of what you're getting. So look more at what the school is like. If you can, go take a tour of the school or visit it. Look at websites that aren't just owned by like Emory University kind of thing. Look at other people's critiques to realize what kind of college it is. So like Emory University, for example, is really like liberal, really like they encourage like a nice, thoughtful community atmosphere. It's not really competitive. So figure out like what you want your next 4 years to look like. Time management, try take advantage of all the resources that are given to you, whether in high school or in college, and just take advantage of those and realize that your whole life isn't going to look like this. So take that dance class, or go to those office hours, meet that person, thank your college counselor, all of that.
Yeah.
Number 4 is to also thank your parents and your family and all the people who supported you in your... Also, number 5 is don't be like intimidated by the people around you. Everyone seems like they have their life together, and everyone seems like they're doing better things and going to a better college or doing cooler stuff in life, but don't compare yourself because you only see what they choose to show you. And you can be just as a queen as they are, or even better. So just like focus on yourself and don't compare. The end. 5 tips from Rebecca.
Awesome! Those are really great tips.
Ooh, tip number 6 that my dad gave me. Buy some chocolate before coming and keep the chocolate in your room so then you can make friends. My dad literally said this to me. We were shopping in Target and he was like, yeah, buy this chocolate, it'll help you make friends. And it literally did. I was walking, I like met some random people in the hallway, and I was like, oh, I have some chocolate in my room. Should we go back and like eat some? And they were like, yeah. And those girls are my best friends now. And I'm telling you, chocolate connects people.
It sure does. Everyone go buy some chocolate and make some friends out there. Those are some great tips. And yeah, well, thank you so much for showing me your school and giving me a little tour about the school and give me the really feel fun. Of it. It's really nice, and I'm really glad that I get to see this. And thank you so much for taking your time and,
thank you.
and showing me around and share your experience and information to people out there. So
I hope it's useful.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very, very useful for people that, if they decide to go to university or if they decide to go to Emory or somewhere else, but these are really good general tips that they can look out for, that they can, while they're taking a tour with us and hear all this. So I mean, that's great. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and
thank you.
Good luck. Oh, of course. Thanks for having me, and good luck in your future with whatever your heart desires. And
fingers crossed it works out.
Yeah, I'm absolutely. I'm sure it'll work out. And go to Vancouver. Good luck in life in Canada, and I wish you best of luck. And keep us updated with your journey. And let us know. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.